So, da-da-da! This is Victoria of VAMP, who has been helping me get the bottom of a fine, juicy, and delicious peach. Oh, can't really wear those, too much reflection. And I've invited her on to speak with me because so many people have been reaching out, like in my inbox. I've been sharing a lot of stuff over on Instagram on my stories and whatnot about how my fitness journey has been progressing. And I have tried, I think I've tried pretty much everything, including home enemas, might I add, with coffee up the anus. I have literally tried everything.
But anyway, see what works.
Tell you what, it did fucking work for a while though. I was about to say holy shit, quite literally. Just setting the tone really early on, right? Just setting the tone like really fucking early on. My people know what to expect from me. It's fine. So I've tried so many things, and I combined with with the spiral and with all of my woo-woo magical spiritual stuff. Nothing ever seemed to stick until I started working with you. And so I'm really excited to be able to share you and your magic, which is the more of the practical kind of magic than potentially my esoteric, let's just go over here and deal with this past life and pluck this entity from your being. So tell us a little bit about you, like why you're so passionate about this, anything else that you just want to like pour out of your face about what, like, and also like why are you okay with letting me probe you in front of my peeps as well, like why you love it so much that you're quite happy to let me poke you in front of people.
As you know, I love a good poke, so right. And you have literally dragged me through a clearing that I've only just got back on my feet with, so I think anything after that we're good. I'm like, it's fine. Where's she going? I'll follow. It's fine. We going over there, right?
I love it.
But yeah, basically, so for me, training and fitness and health, it actually came to me at a time when I was living a life that I was expected to live. And what I mean by this is like when you're younger and you don't really have an idea of what you want to do, you kind of do what you think is expected of you because it was easier. Like, I was a straight A student, you should go to this university, you should do this degree, things like that. And I found that I just really wasn't very comfortable. It was like I was in someone else's life. I found it really hard to live my life, basically. Mm-hmm. And then I was in a relationship with someone as well. And then I just got to a point where I was like, I need something of my own. Like, if I'm going to find happiness, I've got to start with me. So I was like, okay, I'll go training. So I joined a gym. I went in there and I was like, I really want toned arms. So I spent like the first month just running on this treadmill, and I was like, all I'm doing is losing weight and getting flabby. I was like, what the fuck? I was like, this isn't how I'm supposed to, I don't look like this woman, why?
I don't look like this woman, I don't look like this fitness model, what's happening?
What? I don't get it. I'm eating lettuce and drinking water. And then one of my partner at the time, her guy friends was like, you should go on bodybuilding.com. They've got really good plans you can follow. And I was like, bodybuilding.com? I don't want to be like some big butch thing. And then I was like, fuck it, I'll give it a go because what's the worst that can happen? And I went on it and I started following a plan. Now, as soon as I had a structure, I walked in and I knew like, okay, I knew that I've got to go through this before I can leave. So which actually cut down my gym time eventually once I knew what all the exercises were, because I was like, I can just go get this done. I don't have to have an emotional attachment to what I'm doing. Whereas before, I would be like, oh, I don't really want to run on the treadmill for a fucking hour. And I'd sit there having this tantrum in my mind. Mm-hmm. And then what happened was the weights was just full of guys. And I was like, oh no, I'm so antisocial. I'm going to have to like go in there. What if people are looking at me? What if they think I'm doing it wrong? And I was like, what would I do if I didn't know something? I was like, right, I'm going to find the biggest guy in there and I'm going to become friends with him. And I did that. And then what happened is he helped me out with a few things. And then I got to know other people in there and realized that they're not actually looking at you. Everyone's obsessed with their own looks, so they're all looking in the mirror anyway. But the moral of the story is from this is that I started to then take those little lessons that I was learning and apply them in my real life. And then I realized, actually, my life doesn't like it when I do those things. Because I was always like, my life became even more uncomfortable. Do you know what I mean? So I was taking time back for me. I was basically changing as a person, and as a result of that, I got to the point where I was like, do you know what, I'm not with the right person, I'm not in the right job, what do I really want to do? I was like, fuck it. And then it was weird, like my life all at once, everything changed, and it's just literally from applying those small things. And then I've gone from being an accountant now to being a personal trainer. I'm happier than I've ever been, and I'm able to now like look at myself without feeling guilty or selfish for putting myself first, and understanding how important it is as well. Now being with someone that they're only going to get the best of you if you're getting the best of you. Do you get what I mean? You've got more to give.
Yeah.
And you'll never find happiness always trying to be the thing that you already are. Like Georgie, like you say, you already are the woman that you're trying to be, right? She's already in there. And I think learning that through fitness and through health, it's just made me realize like there's so many other people out there like that, and being able to take control of your body and your mind at the same time. So the two things are definitely linked. I would never separate the two of them. It's such an empowering feeling. Look strong, feel strong is definitely a thing. And like when I have women come and train with me, the first thing I say to them, this is you. Okay, you're not a wife, you're not a mother, you're not none of that. I don't want any of those fucking labels. Right now, you're here for you. I don't want any task residue in your head, just focus on you. And for the first month, that's actually one of the biggest things for people to get over, is that it's okay not to be thinking about other people and taking that
from me, because when I came to you, I didn't have any of that shit. I feel like I was just like, it's fine, it's all about me. I'm okay with being selfish. Yeah, totally. Can I ask you, purely for such a narcissistic question?
Yeah.
How different is it working with somebody who is so into the energetic and emotional side of things? Like, did you notice a difference, or do you notice a difference when someone is kind of coming at it from the angle that I come at it, and then getting your support as well? Like, from your side of things, when people put the two things together, does it make a difference?
Say that again. In what way do you mean?
So,
as in, do I find it harder to coach somebody who's...
No, I was wondering, like, I was wondering whether, because I always come at things from like the inside out. So I always come at like, who do I need to be? Oh, by the way, if anyone's got any questions, please pop them in the Facebook group, because I am keeping an eye on that. So if you've got any questions, or you're intrigued about anything, like about me, about VAMP, about our relationship as trainer and client, or the work that we do, or you've got a specific question about your life, or a sabotage pattern that comes up for you, like, please feel free to ask away, because we could chat all night about this stuff, but what we would really love is to be able to help you with your specific issue. So please do drop that in the comments if you have it.
So I can see any comments that come up.
So one of the things I was wondering is, because I come at stuff from like the inside out, when I work with people who are very like do like in the physical, and they don't look so much at like the energetic, spiritual aspects of stuff, when we bring in those pieces, it's like, because they understand they're changing from the inside out, they have more lasting, the effects are more lasting, they get results, but they're coming from a different place. I was just wondering from your perspective, and I genuinely have you might not find any difference at all, so this is quite fascinating for me, coming from your side of things, where you tend to train the physical body, and then the mindset's kind of something that you do as well whilst you're coaching, but people come to you, I assume, because they want their body to change, so they're coming to you for something physical. Is it, have you found it easier or more difficult? Has it had any impact, do you think, the fact that I come at everything from such like a spiritual, energetic, emotional perspective?
Well, to be honest, when I first take somebody on as a client, I always have a consultation. So if you come to me and you're like, I just want a beach body in 8 weeks, and then I'm done, and seeing like kind of where the energy for your and the motivation is coming for your training, I probably wouldn't take you on as a client, especially if you were overweight and saying that. And then I'd ask, okay, well, what have you tried before? Why didn't it work? Why will it work this time? Can you tell me like why you feel that you're unhappy with your body? And they'll be like, if they're the biggest answer that I'm looking for is I want to feel healthier. I want to be able to like run after my kids, like all those good energy kind of things. Whereas if it's like I basically want to look like I don't know what page model it is anyway, but do you get what I mean? Then I'm a bit more reserved and I'm like, okay, so you literally just want training. That's it.
Yeah.
Whereas my passion is with people that want to see a journey grow, build habits, and then the average of those habits creates a healthier, happier, stronger lifestyle. But yeah, someone like you is great because it's easy to talk to, it's easy to communicate with you because you're very receptive. But at first, yeah, like it's a lot harder to begin with, I'd say, with people that aren't as open. Because I have to be able to have that level of trust with you. I want you to be able to say to me, I did this, this, and this. Did you know what? It's okay. I feel like I fucked up, but I know it's just part of the journey. Whereas some people will be like, they'll just lie. And then I know they're clearly lying. And then they're not getting the results. And I'll just say to them, I literally checked every single thing on my side. Now you've got to help me to get those results. You know? Whereas taking ownership is part of that journey, and that's so fucking important. So someone like you is great because I'll call you out on your shit.
And I can hear it. Like, this is what I always look for in someone, like a coach or a mentor or someone that I want to work with to help me on my journey. I always look for somebody who I always look for somebody who I think is as committed to their journey and what they're doing as I am to my journey and what I'm doing. So I wake up, before we started working together, I still woke up every day and I had my coffee and did my journaling, my clearing, set my goals, did all my things, right? Did all of the like woo-woo shit that I do. Like I was doing that every fucking day, and I am committed to my spiritual, emotional, energetic growth always. It was the physical side of stuff that I really struggled with. And so when I saw that you are like on your Instagram and stuff, the way that you speak about mindset was what I had always really appealed to me. And I know I'd reached out to you a couple of times, like I'd love to do something online with you, I'd love to train with you, and it never really was never really like quite the right thing. When I saw your 8-week revamp package, which feel free, like if that's coming up again, please feel free to plug away, like people need this shit. I had no idea what I remember saying to you, I was like, I don't really know what it is. I don't know how to use it. I have no idea what I've signed up for, but I need to be in your energy. So I'm just, fuck it, I'm in. And what I really noticed was I had a huge resistance to counting calories because because of the way that I work around things, I genuinely believe that it is possible for somebody to eat whatever they want, as much as they want, as they have a belief system and they are energetically and like completely aligned with what they're eating. No matter how many calories in it, they can still have the body they want. And I believe that that is available, but I do not believe that I have a level of belief in that belief that is going to work for me, right? So I do believe we create our own reality. So there was like this part of me that was like, oh, this is very 3D and very like matter of fact, like energy in versus energy out. I mean, I get it, but I wanted to fight it. I really wanted to fight it. But I was like, bitch, you've paid this woman to help you. Fucking do what she's telling you. And it was so fascinating for me because it brought up so much stuff, like emotional and like connections in the past with restriction and all of that stuff. And I felt like fucking writing a post yesterday because I was at Muay Thai and I did an hour and a half of solid fucking pad work. Like, it's like an hour and a half of fucking high intensity training. It's insane. I fucking love it. But you know, like, I burned some motherfucking calories last night, and I'd only had like a couple of smoothies in the day because I wasn't really that hungry. I was like in my flow state at work, wasn't really thinking about eating. And then I ended up training for an hour and a half, and then I said to the ladies, I was like, fuck it, I'm gonna have pizza. I know there's this pizza that's like 600 something calories, loads of salad with it. I really just fancy it. And they were like, after training? You're gonna have pizza after training? And I was like, well, what better time to have it?
Yeah.
You know, when your fucking metabolism's like, you know? And then the other piece around that was like, oh yeah, I've completely, through working with you, I've completely released any ideas. And how fucking cool is this, by the way? I have released any ideas around needing to be restricted or feel in deprivation when it comes to my weight loss. And if I don't lose weight, or if I put a pound or two on or whatever, and I see that fluctuation, like I said to you, that like last week, weighed myself, put on 3 pounds, and I was like, oh, it's cool. Like, I had a takeaway at the weekend. I'm probably holding a lot of water, and I feel fucking amazing, and my ass looks great, so I don't give a shit. You know, it's like just my whole, like, I cannot.
How empowering is it to say, fuck yeah, I'm having pizza?
I know, and like, and for it's so funny because I didn't even think, because it's so normal for me now. Yeah. I didn't even think that it would be weird. You know, it's like, oh, and I'm like, in their mind, they're like, she said, oh, and so do you train like regularly? And I was like, well, I train about 5 or 6 times a week. It's like twice Muay Thai, and then I have like a program that I do at the gym. And she was like, oh, that's a lot. And I'm like, is it? Fuck, I suppose it is, you know. And like in my head I'm like, is it a lot? Because to me it is just normal. And the big shift that's happened for me, and I think this is such a massive testament to your work and the combination of your work with like the energetics and emotional stuff that I do in the background, like bringing it all together is so fucking powerful from my perspective, my personal experience of it. And it's been a total identity upgrade, you know, like it really, I was in Byron Bay with my friend Jamie, and I'm like walking along, and I caught my reflection in a shop window, and I just stopped, and I was like, oh my God. I was like, I look amazing. And I was like, and she was just laughing. She totally, like, she's on a vibe with me completely. And she was just like, well, yeah, I mean, of course you do. Like, we know this. And I was just like, yeah, but I was like, look, and I felt really emotional. I was like, fuck, this is just who I am now. I get up, like, I was setting my fucking alarm at 5 a.m. in the morning so I could get up, do my journaling and have my coffee, and then go for a fucking run on the beach. Even when it was pissing down with rain, I was like getting up at 5 a.m. do fucking jump squats and skipping in the garden at our Airbnb. And I'm like, this is like, I just kept saying it. I was like, this is just who I am now. Like, I can't imagine being any other way. And to me, that's massive identity upgrades, and it wouldn't have been possible without your support. So like, just thank you so much. And I just want to answer Gabriella's question, do you train remotely? So VAMP has an app.
I do.
Like, and tell them about your free thing.
Oh yeah, so the app's going to be on trial on the 9th of March. So basically the app is what I use for Georgina. And basically on it, I put on her training program, her nutritional, well, to begin with, when she did the 8-week program, it's a little bit of a different structure. She had like a nutritional guidance. And then there's like a messaging service through there and everything. But basically when you do it remotely, you'll also, George doesn't use the spreadsheet, do you, babe? Because it doesn't suit you.
I mean, I did to start with, and I'm just such a rebel that I'm now like, I don't like admin, please don't make me fill it in.
But it's fine because you check in with all those things out. You're good. But some people want that extra support where I'll basically monitor everything, especially for the first month. And every Sunday you check in with me via this Excel sheet and the app. And then every second Sunday we do a call like this to go through how you're doing with your training, how you're doing with your nutrition, things like that. So I basically try and support you from all areas. We even talk about reviewing your mindset, reviewing things like sex drive, your sleep quality, because you might think, yeah, I'm doing everything fucking right. Why am I not losing weight? Why am I actually putting on a little bit of weight? Things as simple as not getting enough sleep, cortisol levels, things like that. And having someone who's going to like give you that friendly nudge in the right direction, say it's okay when it's okay, and relying on me to call you out on your shit when you need it. It feels a lot better rather than just being chucked out there and being like, okay, well, the internet says this, maybe I should do this and this and this. And that's where structure helps. And eventually, because you've been badgered with doing these things for me each week, you'll know that, innately know that. You'll, like Georgie said, like she had a takeaway, and now she knows like for every like gram of carbs, you hold 3 grams of water. That's just water. Carbs aren't a bad thing. Enjoy your takeaway. Just fit it into your lifestyle so that you're not in energy surplus, unless you want to gain weight or grow a bit of muscle tissue, things like that. But if you wanted to do that, then I'm more than happy to do a consultation with you.
Yeah, I think, like I just said, basically to Gabriella, she should just do all of the things. Because
have I missed anything?
You know, I'm not on commission here, by the way, guys. I just wanted to come on and give you the opportunity to ask any questions or whatever. But yeah, I think sometimes I over prioritize the inner work when it came to my fitness and stuff. Like, I'm really good with my business, with money, all of the things, kind of following the inspired action, doing the inner work, and then whatever comes from that space, creating from there, creating momentum, creating action, and the doing comes from the being with me. So what I had to do, and this is like top tip, guys, top woo-woo mindset tip from Nolly's Nuggets. I would stand in front of the mirror at the beginning of our work together, and I would look in the mirror and I would feel so fucking disheartened. And I'd be like, right, this woman who is standing, goosebumps, this woman who's standing in front of you right now and you see in this mirror is a product of the shitty fucking belief systems and behaviors and habits that you've had in the past. So I say this all the time, anything we see in our current physical reality, our body, our money, our relationships, whatever, is all a physical manifestation of past thoughts. So we're effectively living in the past. So if you want to create something new, you have to be able to believe that something else is available, and you have to access that, like in the quantum, access that body that you know exists for you, that you see in your mind's eye, that you know is yours, and remember that that's where you're headed. Like, that's the person. What the fuck does that bitch do every day? Does she get up and go, oh, boo-hoo? Or does she go, oh, I feel a bit fat today, well, I'm going to go to the gym anyway, because tomorrow I'll have an extra day's gym in the bag, you know? And there's been so many subtle shifts throughout this entire journey that is like, it feels impossible to like quantify, but it is literally, I just feel like a different person. I feel like the person I was meant to be.
Mm.
So
and
yeah.
I think, well, it's really important as well, like when people look at, so like you go to the gym or train like 5-6 times a week, you realize that training is actually, well, there's 2 different things. There's training where you're going towards a goal, so that keeps you, or keep you anchored to your journey, or there's working out, which is your maintenance, which is basically just keeping your body where it is. But I think it's so important to not see training as a punishment of your body. More, it should be seen as a reward, as like, it should be something that you should be grateful to be able to do in so many ways. Yes. And I know it's a bit cliche, and everyone's like, your body is the one thing that you'll live in for the rest of your life, but it's true. People spend thousands and thousands of pounds on cars and treat them better than they do their own bodies.
Holy fuck me. But you started with bodybuilding, right? You did competition stuff. So how does that, did you feel like healthy when you were doing that, or do you feel healthier now? Would you do it again? Like, talk to me a bit about that, because I find that fascinating. Like, for me, I'm certainly not at any level of wanting to do that because of the deprivation side of it. Like, it's like fight camp, you know, like I have to cut weight. I'm just like, I don't know if I can ever do another fight, because it is like torture, the not being able to eat. tell me a bit about that.
I think because like my first one happened because someone asked me to do it, and I was like, yeah, right. And I'd never really been asked to do anything, so I thought, why not? And I was like, and it's something that I'm really interested in, and it's all about me, and I never do anything all about me, so I was like, fuck it, yeah, I'll do it. And then I never ever felt like, even though I knew I couldn't have certain things to get my body to look the way it did, I never felt restricted or bad about it. I'm quite lucky. I know so many competitors that have gone actually into competing because they had eating disorders, and it allows them to not eat, and no one's gonna bend like what's it called? Flash an eyelid? What's it called?
Bat an eyelid.
Bat an eyelid, that's it.
You can flash it
Flash
like,
an eyelid.
just one as well. Just one eyelid. Not both. Never both. Just one.
I can't do both. One, just one. Like,
fucking hell.
I know. I was literally staying in my calorie quota, and then as I came to cut closer to the show, you have to think about salt, things like that. Then I started to get strict and just, so I only had to do like 2 weeks of that bit. But before then, I was still having a little bit of what I fancied. So for me, I was like, cool, yeah, it's fine. Whereas a lot of other people are very much like, oh, I can't have that. And then they'll secretly eat and then be like, fuck. And then they carry that guilt with them. And then they hit their bodies twice as hard. Competing is not healthy. It's a very extreme way to put your body, it's a very extreme process for your body to go through. I put on a lot of weight after, even before they've started their next bulk, they call it. Bulk.
Oh my God, it's the same as fight camp. Like, I lost 10 kilograms in 8 weeks.
Mm-hmm.
It is not healthy whilst training like twice a day, 6 days a week. You know, it's like, it's not healthy at all. But I had to cut that much weight in order to fight, because the girl that I was fighting was like 63 kilograms, and I was like way overweight, you know, and I went 10 kilograms down, and I was fucking exhausted throughout my entire fight camp. But I still, like, I smashed it, and I did really well during camp. But when I then got to fight, and this is another thing that I think women, like, we forget, you know, like, I was due on my period. I came on my period after the fight. So the fight happened, got back to the hotel, started bleeding, and I was like, oh my God, no wonder. I was in the sauna for like hours trying to fucking sweat weight out. I hadn't eaten for 27 hours. I hadn't had a drop of water for 27 hours. And like, I was sweating, like trying to sweat. There's like nothing left. I couldn't lose weight. And then when I came on that like the night after the fight, I was like, oh, no wonder, because your body, when you are about to bleed, it's stored, like, you can store like up to 10 pounds because it's holding on to water. And I'm fucking dehydrating it, and it's going, no fucking way, mate. I'm holding on to this shit. I could not lose any more weight. So it's really extreme. But one of the things that I then did, obviously, was then did the binge, and then I got even bigger than I was before. So.
And that's the thing. People think, oh, you're going to put loads of weight on because your body's going to go into starvation mode because it thinks it's not going to get any food, when starvation mode isn't really a thing. So basically the way it happens is it's actually your mindset and the food choices that you then take on. Your body, if your body's getting enough calories, it's getting enough calories to do what it needs to do. Obviously yours wasn't getting enough calories. So you were physically stressed as well. So your cortisol levels would have been through the roof. So that again would have inhibited fat loss. Then your sleep would have been affected. So important.
Awful what I do in my sleep. I'm so sorry. Although when I was fight training, I did used to wake him up by kicking him every now and then, because I'd be like falling asleep, like running the patterns of all like sparring and stuff in my head. And then I'd be like, I'd wake up and I'd just have elbowed him and be like, oh, sorry, kicking him in the legs. Something interesting as well that really shifted for me through working with you was reframing binging, because I have binge eaten and emotional eaten my whole life. And a lot of the people, when I used to work specifically with weight loss, which I don't really work with anymore, but who knows with our alliance what's going to happen, but I used to specifically work with weight loss, and I actually had like a 10-day tapping challenge specifically for weight loss, like an online program. And one of the things that people always used to ask me about was cravings and binge eating. And of course, for people like me, what used to happen was I would feel things that I didn't want to feel. I'd stop eating the shit, so the emotions would no longer be getting stuffed down with food, so I'd actually start to feel things, which was very uncomfortable for me back in the day, whereas now I'm like a feeling machine. And that's been something that's helped me to overcome emotional eating and stuff as well. Is just that I've become, my capacity to feel and sit with my own emotions is enormous now. Like I can, this morning I was grieving and I don't know why, like I just was like, oh, I need to cry, and I was crying. I was like, why am I crying? It feels like grief. Okay, just let it out. And then about 10 seconds later I'm like, oh, okay, cool, I'm good to go again. And from the outside I'm probably like a fucking mentalist, but to me it's just like, oh, energy's moving through my body, it needs to come out. Whereas every time I'd feel something like that, I used to shove food in my face because I didn't want to feel. I just wanted to like anesthetize myself. And I think having gone through the spiral, it certainly allowed me to understand and feel my feelings more. And then when I was working with you and I had like what I would call my first like binge when I was in Australia, and I was like, I had a lot of emotions and I'd felt a lot of emotions for 7 days during the training. And I just got to the point where I was like, I just want a day off from feeling. So I went to the shop and I intentionally bought like a couple of donuts and some crisps and some chewy sweet things. And I went back to my hotel and I ate nowhere near as much as I normally would have done in a binge, because I just can't anymore. My body just won't tolerate it. And I ate and I was like, oh, I did it and I know why I did it and I feel okay about doing it and I'm not going to do it again. And then I remember saying to you, oh, I had this binge, and you were like, don't think of it as a binge, just think of it as something that you did, you know. So talk to me about that a little bit, because I found that it had never even dawned on me that I could repeat a certain behavior, but because it's coming from a different place, if I label it and reframe it in my mind, it shifts it and it becomes something else, and I no longer have to repeat it. Does that make sense?
Yeah, and I think actually you saying that does raise something for me. Like your first question, like, is it different working with someone like you who is energetically aware? That's different.
Oh, okay.
Because I can say about the rephrasing and stuff, and you can do your self-exploration. You're like, actually, yeah. Whereas somebody else, I might have to sit down with them and we'll have this conversation a few times, because they'll have so much other things attached to it that they're not aware of. And I'll ask them, like, when you, like, I'll always say, like, when you were younger, like, did your mum used to pacify you by giving you food? That would be my first go-to. Or if you felt guilty, like, did you used to hoard sweets? Things like that. So, like, more, like, logical things rather than, like, the very, very emotional stuff that you guys untap. You guys, like, pull out.
Yeah.
So yeah, I guess that for me does make my life easier. But yeah, with something like that, like I said to you, so then, like, even though I train and I have goals, there'll be times where I'm like, you know what, I just want to have a bag of Doritos and we're gonna have like Mexican food or something, and I don't feel bad. It's just something that I want to do tonight, right? Because I know that deep down, I know factually actually, the average of my habits of who I am means that I'm not going to become obese. I'm not going to become overweight. So when someone who's overweight then comes to me and that happens, and they've been doing well, they have a weight loss program that's going well, and then suddenly this happens, I'm like, great. I wait for somebody to fall off the wagon so we can address this. For some people, it doesn't happen for ages, and some people it happens really soon.
I love that. Like, if anyone who didn't pick up on that, like, she literally wants you to fall off the wagon, because then she gets to educate you on how to like, how fucking cool is that? How amazing is that? Like, that's just one of my favorite things I've ever heard in my life from a coach. Like, I can't wait for the moment where you fall off the wagon, because it's like then you get to educate them in this whole new way of being and help them up level themselves in a new way. Like, that's fucking cool, man. I love that.
Yay!
As you were, carry on.
And then it's literally just an explanation. Okay, so you are this human who is once this size. You've now spent like 4 months. You're now this size. It's because of the average of your habits living is a lot healthier. Mm-hmm. So, you know, when people get to Christmas and they're like, oh, I'm really worried I'm going to put on all my weight back on at Christmas. Bitch, if you've been good 11 months of the year, one Christmas meal is not going to throw it all away. Do you know what I mean? Eat your fucking Christmas dinner. Mm-hmm. Have your Christmas pud. But I tell you what, the person eating that Christmas pud this year doesn't feel the need to eat the whole fucking thing, because throughout the year they've been able to have a little bit of what they fancy. There's no guilt attached to their food because they're aware of what's in it. And yeah, at the beginning there might be a bit of calorie counting and but that's just education to make you aware. So I know if I haven't really trained, I won't go for as many carbs. I don't need the energy. I know that. Mm-hmm. But that doesn't mean like we go into this. It doesn't mean that carbs are a bad thing. It just means that I'll have like more protein, stuff like that. But obviously, like when you join my group or we work together, I'll go through that a bit more. But basically, I'm going to try and instill good habits in. That's what I want, because when you've left me, I want to feel. I know it sounds bad. I'm talking about me, but I want to feel comfortable.
I know that people are like me. Otherwise, people are like me, and they just won't ever leave you. And they're just going, I just do one more month. I just do one more month. It's like 3 years down the line, I'll still be going, just one more.
That's fine. I have clients like that now, and I'm like, right, we're gonna do about 6 to 8 months, and then after that, you just check in with me once a week, because some people just like having the structure. They like the accountability, and that's fine. Mm-hmm. But yeah, what I want you to leave with habits that are going to carry you through when you don't fucking want to do it, but it feels more natural to do it than not.
Yeah.
Basically.
Yeah. And I was just thinking like about the, you know, when you were saying like people you want, like when they fall off the wagon and then you get to help them and like help them kind of grow through that like failure, if you will. What I find interesting, like I was thinking that like just reminded me of what I did in terms of the energetic work, which was the reason that I kept tripping my own switch and binging for a few days, where I was like, I just can't seem to, like, I just got into a bit of a cycle about 2 or 3 weeks ago, and I was like, I can't seem to get out of this little rut. Like I'll hit my calories and then I'll be like, oh, and I'm just gonna eat more, and then I'd feel bad, but I'd be like, why? I'm so aware, like, why am I doing this? And then I had a little chat with you, and then I went off and I was like, oh fuck, I know what this is about. It's like when you've had a really long journey with binge eating and cravings and like just this on and off weight loss shit that I've had my whole fucking adult life, as long as I could remember, before, you know, meeting you and starting this journey, activating this new timeline that I'm on now, where that's no longer an issue. Like before, when it used to be a thing, I was so afraid that when I like fell off the wagon, I was just going to become the same person I was. And that was because I wasn't tackling the mindset in the right way. And I wasn't doing the level of energetic and emotional work that I do now. And this is purely for me, like not everyone's going to need that. Like I'm just someone who really benefits from that side of things, because it's how, as I say, like I work from the inside out. And the thing that I remembered was, oh yeah, I chakra cleared. So what we call in emotional clearing in the spiral, like I could see like this past version of myself, like the fat kid, and I still in my head was the fat kid. And so for me, what I did was I chakra cleared between me and the fat kid. And as soon as I did that, it was like, oh, I'm not her anymore. Like, yeah, this might sound really fucking weird, okay, but you're used to me by now. So like really, like you've come this far with me. When we associate ourselves with like a past identity, like the fat kid, for example, or someone who's a binge eater, or I get cravings, when we like identify with something at such a core level that it really becomes like an I am statement, we're always going to end up back there, because it's like at our core, that's who we believe we are. And so when we enable ourselves to shift out of that and create a new identity for ourselves and believe that we are worthy and deserving of being this new person, and actually having the body that we want and being able to eat fucking pizza if we want to, when we release those attachments, it's like, it's okay. You don't have to feel guilty about letting go of that past self. And I think a lot of people, when they come to me for what I do, they don't want to move forward sometimes because people are genuinely, they feel sad or like they're betraying their past self by moving forward. Do you know what I mean? Does this make any sense to you? But yeah, and I felt like I could feel that sadness of like almost like grieving, letting that identity go, because she'd obviously protected me and served me for such a long time. And then when I let her go, I was like, oh, what a relief. Now I get to fully own this new identity as a person who just does all this other stuff. I'm just this different person now.
And I think that's so important. And brings back to why mindset is so important with the body, because, for example, I have one client who is in their second year. She's lost a load of weight, like a lot of weight, consistently, like done really well. And a few months ago, she turned around to me and she said, I don't understand why I still feel like the old me on the inside. She's like, I love my body. She's like, I love training. She's like, and how do I get rid of this feeling? She's like, I still feel like the old me. And I was like, but you're not the old you. The actions that you're doing today isn't the old you. But that's as far as I can get. That's the help that I can give. Whereas from your perspective, you could dig deeper and help so much more from the inside. Do you get what I mean? So I think the two things are really, really important to be working together.
Yeah, and I know the power of the work that I do. I'm like, for sure. But in combination with what you're doing and the way in which you teach and the way in which you like I remember just doing even the 8-week program with you, having somebody like cheerlead, oh, I feel a bit mosh, having someone actually like cheerlead for the wins, like even the tiniest thing. Like I went to the gym, like, just checking in, like I went to the gym, did my session, and having someone there to just be like, fuck yeah, you know, you're like, oh, actually fuck yeah, yeah, yeah.
Oh God, yeah!
Fucking thing I said I was gonna do. Boom, you know. It's like, and I was thinking, shit, man, like I do that for my clients all the time, and I didn't really realize that I've like this level of support when it comes to. I have a personal trainer in Jersey who I do like a weekly session with every few weeks, because sometimes I'm away, sometimes she's away, but it's like just a one-to-one. I do a session with her. That's it. I also have a Muay Thai trainer who I go and see once a week as well. He's really good with mindset, but it's more like around like fight and that kind of stuff, and stamina, like logistics of the mindset and actually like getting punched in the face and how to spar and stuff. So I've never really had somebody, and it is kind of, I feel like I feel like the way that you work in your online programs, they're like the thing that everyone needs that they don't actually realize they need. It's like, and I kind of feel like sometimes that my work's a bit like that for people as well. They don't know they need it, and then when they've got it, they're like, holy fuck, how did I live without this? Because I certainly feel like that about mindset and energy work. Like how does anyone actually navigate life without like EFT or emotional clearing or meditation? Like how do people I don't know how they do it. Like it's crazy to me. But I feel like I didn't know how much I needed what you offer as a human, as like an energetic transmission. Like I didn't know how much I needed that until I like booked, paid, signed up, did the fucking program. So yeah, if any of you who are watching this, again, like this isn't about us selling shit to you. This is genuinely like, I've never met someone in your industry who is as passionate about the level of transformation that you genuinely want to get for people. Like it is really fucking cool, and that's why I just like want to collaborate and do loads of cool shit with you, because I know that you are as passionate about doing the real work with people and actually getting like changing them from the inside, like really changing people's lives. It's not just about getting them fit.
Yeah, 100%. So yeah, thanks for that. I got my little bit of cheerleading there too.
Yeah, woo woo!
Thanks, girl.
But I would love to know, obviously, like, we're going to wrap this up because we've been going for a while now. And so I'd love to know from you guys, whether you're listening to this, like, we're going to put this in all the places like IGTV, YouTube, whatevs. So wherever you're listening to this, I would love to know, what do you want from us? Like, if we put together a collaboration of something, what really speaks to you? And I don't want you to think about the investment side of things. I want you to think about, what is the offering that would be such a fucking gut punch, sold, fuck yes, that you would just be so excited, because I can feel the power of what this alliance could create for people. And I want to know from you guys listening or watching us, what is it that you would love to see Victoria, or as I keep calling her Vamp, because that's your business name, but I just feel like
Vamp. They don't call me
just
Victoria.
so fucking suits you, man. Like, it's just so what would you want to see us create? What is the thing that you have been fucking waiting for when it comes to your body? And this will be specifically for people who understand that you need to be taking like a fucking double-pronged approach. You can't just be smashing it at the gym, and you can't just be meditating. You know, you can get results doing both. I'm not gonna say you can't, because I 100% believe you can meditate yourself thin and healthy if you want, and you can smash it out in the gym and get thin and healthy if you want. But specifically, our work would be for people who actually desire to have both, for people who are interested in carving out a body from, you know, through physical activity, and repatterning their brain and their energetic and emotional system to support that journey. So it's really for people who get that you want to be doing both. Not that you have to, but that you want to be doing both, and you can understand the value in both.
Yeah.
So, yeah.
I just want to say thank you to you as well, because I've worked with Georgina as well. I did your 30-day, which was great.
Money mindset reset, and now you have to sell.
It honestly, I said to her the other day, every time like you did a clearing with me, I have to go squat, because I can add 5 kilos onto my squat, because I feel so much better afterwards. But I also had, because I basically feel like I was walking around blind before, and I didn't realize, and I also had that grieving. I was crying because I felt sorry for the person that I was, and that she'd done so much. And Ruth was like, "Who's my partner?" And I was just like, I feel so bad for myself that I walked the old self, because I thought I'd already got rid of all that when I started the new me, like doing what I wanted. And that's opened so many doors for me, emotionally, and like through my business especially. So yeah, amazing. Before you were my client, I think I was already in your group, your transformations. Oh my God, years.
I know, look at him at the door.
And then I was like, yeah, we had that session, and then I sat down with you, and I was just like, oh no, this crazy woman is going to be in my life now.
Yeah, I have that effect on people.
And then I'm
like I didn't know I needed you until I met you.
Yeah. Yeah. It's like, okay.
I call people into my juicy vibes. But it is quite fascinating, because obviously like money and wealth are so connected to like the root chakra. So the fact that your hips always open up and you can squat better or heavier after a session with me is like, you know, it's all that wealth stuff is like just going to open up your hips and open up that area of your body. So
you're going to get inundated by power lifters trying to get clear.
Yeah, bring it, fucking bring it on. I'll take it. I will totally take it. I love it. Well, I am going to see if I don't even know how to stop this recording, but we'll see if I can. Let me see if I can figure out how to stop it. Awesome, I figured it out. Thank you everyone for watching, and I'll see Victoria in 1 second once we finish this live. But thanks so much for watching, whoever watched it live, and if you're watching or listening on the replay, please do reach out and let us know what you took away from this. I feel like we covered all of the things, like from binge eating to fucking spirituality and meditation, so we're good. And I'd love to know, what would you like to see from us in the future? Thanks so much.
Bye guys.